Okay, then welcome to our online event about the Master Program Digital Sciences at TH Cologne. And I would like to start with a short introduction from my colleagues. So please, Stefan.
Yeah, my name is Stefan Bente. I'm a professor for software engineering at Technische Hochschule Köln, Cologne University of Applied Science. And I am the coordinator for the focus area software architecture, focusing on the design of large and complex software systems.
Okay, thank you, Stefan.
Yes, welcome. My name is Philipp Scheer. I'm here professor for data science and information retrieval here at TH Köln for roughly 6 years now. And yes, I'm the one responsible for the specialization on data and information science.
Yeah, thank you. Hans Ludwig Stahl. He's a little bit delayed. He sent a note to me and I introduce him. He is responsible for the specialization IT management. And I assume that he will join us in a few minutes. So the idea of IT management specialization is to align IT to business needs. And finally, my name is Hartmut Westenberger. I'm responsible and managing the specialization of business information systems. My field of teaching and research in our university is business application and information systems. So the idea here in our specialization is to support business processes by digital means. So, and furthermore, I would like to introduce Larissa Busch from the Department of International Affairs. Hello, Mrs. Busch. Okay, she seems not to be online currently, so I think again she will join a few minutes later. Okay, what you see here, the picture in the slide is our building in Gummersbach.
Sorry, once again, now I can talk. So before I was on mute and I could not deactivate the muted microphone. So now it was enabled. So really sorry, now I can speak. Yeah, so my name is Larissa Busch. I work for the Department of International Affairs. And I'm here today to explain a bit about the administrative part of registering at TH Köln, of applying, especially for international students. But I will also tell you a bit about how you can do a semester abroad if you are interested. So also for those of you who are Germans or even come from Cologne or Gummersbach, I might also have some interesting information for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. What you see on my upper part of my slide is an aerial view on our settlement in Gummersbach. That is a small town outside Cologne. We are placed near the city center and the traffic station. So we have 3 settlements in Cologne and nearby Cologne, in which we have placed our lectures, classes, and teaching. One part is in Gummersbach. Then we have another part that is in Cologne, in the southern part of Cologne. And finally, on the west side of Cologne, west from the Rhine, which is dividing Cologne into parts, that is Cologne-Deutz. But we will come back to that later on when we talk about our module catalog. So let's jump directly into the core idea of our program. So we have a master program that's called Digital Sciences. And we see as predecessing programs, undergraduate programs from 2 areas. So one area is data and information science and related fields. And the other part is computer science and related fields. If we have an undergraduate program, which is running on 6 semester timeline, we have canonical successors in the master program. One is a specialization DIS, we call it Data Information Science. Another specialization is SAR, Software Architecture. Then ITM, that's IT Management. And finally, BIS, Business Information Systems. So these 4 specializations are here mentioned as 4-semester tracks. That means together 6-semester undergraduate and 4-semester in the master program gives a total of 10 semesters till you achieve the master degree. And again, you see here our settlements where we are teaching and researching from Cologne-Deutz, that is the western part of Cologne, the southern part of Cologne, Gummersbach, and finally we have one place, we call it online, because remote sessions and remote class are also part of our concept. But our program is constructed very flexible and to enable different needs and requirements from applicants, from students. And so we are able also to offer programs for students who have passed a 7-semester program in undergrad studies. That means if you are coming from a 7-semester program, here, for example, in data information science, you can enroll in the 3-semester program in our master program. And the same for computer science undergraduate studies. And what I have not mentioned, but it's also possible in our program, this cross path that you join software architecture, IT management, or business information systems when you are coming from a data information science related undergrad program, or vice versa, coming from computer science, you are able to join data and information science specialization. There's one remark about the 7-semester program undergraduate. The remark is that this semester is related to our German university standard. And for applicants coming from abroad and having passed the undergraduate program abroad, outside Europe, there is a process to which semester your program from your homeland can be addressed or assigned to a German equivalent standard. So sometimes that means that you have studied an undergraduate program with 8 semesters, but UniAssist assigns that as a 6th semester. So be a little bit careful. 7th semester means here 7th semester in German universities, so that you cannot take it as direct approach to say I've studied 8 semesters, so I can join 3 semesters. That is what you have to clarify before. Now let's have a look at our module catalog. We have a long list of catalogs. These are around 50 let's say classical modules. We have a couple of different project types. We have master thesis, and all these together is a long catalog of possible modules. We are not able here in this this online session to go all through all these modules and explain what is the content and more. If you're interested, and I hope so, you can look at digital-science.de, and there you will find all these modules explained, described in very detailed way. That helps really to understand what we are offering. Today we will only go through some examples, and I come back to it later in a few minutes. So I would like to present and explain our concept. So we have a large catalog of modules, and these modules are shared in these 4 specializations, but there is not a direct relation that one module belongs exactly to one specialization. So what I mentioned, that is shared, and we need a construct that helps us to develop a profile specific for specialization, but nevertheless enables you to develop a very individual way of studying, paths of studying here. And this is guided by our concept that we are calling focus areas. And we have 6 focus areas. And I would like to explain it a little bit more in detail, because that is an essential, a crucial part to understand our concept. Okay, 6 focus areas. Let's start with the middle, the heart of our star, that is called acting responsibly. So that means that we are focusing here self and social competencies, reflection, problem-solving skills, impact of digital technologies. For example, we are offering projects, and the projects are accompanied by team supervision by a psychologist. And that is one aspect where we focus here in this middle of the star. Another area, focus area, is an empowering business. Here is a focus developing of business capabilities by using digital services. For example, a module like business process management would be a typical module for that. Then the green circle here, designing innovation and products, where's the focus on innovative processes, products, services driven by digitization and enabled by new technologies. So in many modules here in our catalog, you will find there is an aspect of innovation. For example, one module is mentioned or is named innovation management. Managing and running IT, MRE, we are calling it. Establishment, operation, and development of IT, taking into account effectiveness, efficiency, and security. Then are ACS, methods and tools to design, implement, and test software. And finally, GAK, generating usable knowledge from data and information. These are the 6 focus areas which we use for profiling. That means we use it for different purposes. We use it for the target line that we define in the specialization. This target line then is based on these 6, this vector of 6 attributes, but we also use that for the entry, for assessing who is able to join our program, who brings exact the capabilities and the skills from the undergraduates that we need to be successful in our program. I would like to explain it with the specialization business information system, which I am guiding here. So the specific target line for business information systems here is built on exactly these 6 focus areas. The main aspect, the most important aspect of that here for business information system is the focus area empowering business, with a requirement of 22 credits, which have to be achieved in the master program based on modules and projects, but without master thesis. And you see here that we have the profile are covering all of these 6 focus area, but the strongest part, the strongest pillar of that is empowering business. All these credits, which are mentioned here in this 6 focus area in total, give a total of 40 credits. And then we have an additional part of credits which are not determined. That means these credits are thresholds which you have to achieve, but you can achieve more than these. That's not necessary that you exactly achieve this number of credits. That is only a threshold which you have to achieve in each of these 6 specializations. So in a 3-semester program, that means we are leaving 20 credits open. In a 4-semester program, that means we are leaving 50 credits open. And the principles also enrolled or developed for the 3 other specialization. And here, for example, you see here in the data information science specialization, the focus is on generating and accessing knowledge. The focus on IT management is managing and running IT. And the focus on software architecture is architecting and coding software. Okay, I think that is not really a surprising fact when we look at these specific focus areas and where are the main weight on it. Yes, and to make it more clearer, now we can look how we can construct a study path, an individual path for a student. So coming back to our 6 areas, for example, here, that is the target line for business information systems, with the most important part, the strongest requirement empowering business with 22 credits. And now we look in a specific case. For example, if you're a student and you pass the module business process management, you will achieve a specific amount of credits in, here you see, architecting and coding software 2 credits and empowering business 4. That means each profile, each module has a distinct profile in these 6 focus areas. And when you pass the module, then you have an account in our information system. You have an account for all of these 6 focus areas. And then these credits, which are assigned to this module business process management, are booked and posted in these 6 accounts. And looking at the second module, let's say current approaches to marketing and innovation. There we have a contribution of 4 credits in empowering business and a contribution of 2 credits in designing and innovation. And then when you have passed both are booked and posted in your account. And then finally, after taking both modules successfully, you will have, for example, 2 credits out of 3 needed in architecting coding software, 8 out of 22 in empowering business, and 2 out of 3 in designing innovation and products. Okay, some small remarks, key figures about what we are offering here. So on an aggregated layer. For example, let's have a look in which focus area our modules offers how many credits. Here you see in our diagram that the strongest focus area is generating and accessing knowledge with 70 credits that we are offering, followed by architecting and coding software with 59, then empowering business and so on. So we have here a huge number or large number of credits. And when you reflect what is needed, threshold, for example, in business information systems, the level was 22. We are offering 49 credits. And additionally, we are offering projects. With projects, you can also achieve credits in these 6 focus areas. So you can imagine that's really not a problem to achieve these thresholds, and that you have a high degree of freedom in choosing your models and defining your specific path for your study. Then let's take a look on the language in which these modules are given. Again, here we are counting only the modules, the regular modules without projects and master theses. And we see that we have 2/3 for English given modules and yeah, more or less 30% and modules are given in German. That depends on, for sure, that depends on the requirements of the lecturers, and furthermore, we have one specialization that is what I have not mentioned up to now, one specialization where we have some mandatories which are given in German. Then for sure, this specialization, that is IT management, is really restricted to German-speaking students. But the 3 other specializations are open to international students without German language skills, and that means to international students. Okay, it seems to be a little bit complex, combining or developing here a specific path for a study, but I think it isn't so complicated as it seems. And furthermore, we delivering a tool for study planning. We call it the study planning tool. And yeah, Stefan, would you like to introduce it in a few sentences?
Yeah, I can do that. So if I can take over the
Okay, yeah.
screen, it's fine. You can see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, you find this study planner under Study Planner. And here you also find the video. So I will not go into that much detail. The video should cover in detail how the study planner is used, actually, but that boils it down a little bit. So basically, you could go down here. Here, the intricacies are, or the regulations and rules are explained. There is an English version available, so you can switch here to the English version, and then you find it in English. So let me continue in English maybe. So go to the study planner. And here, basically, what you find is the screen has 3 parts. The top part is the overview, what rules or what focus area rules have already been fulfilled. As I have not taken any courses yet, so none of it is fulfilled. If I have fulfilled, for instance, the requirements for business information system, then this line turns green. So by now, only certain fields are green. And you see only those fields are green where there are 0 credits required. Then here you see the selected modules in the semesters, none currently. And then here you have the catalog, and now you can start selecting projects or modules. So I just do that for the moment. I just select something. And then I see up here, I have 21 credits in the first semester. And here I see my score currently. So that's basically how you deal with the tool. Here you can switch to another semester, and then it switches over to the summer semester modules, and you can continue selecting the modules. And by clicking on this link, you can go to the module description and read if this is what you intend to do in your study. Yeah, I think more about the details how to do that can be taken from the video. One more thing that might be practical for you is maybe not to start here, but to start in one of these columns, BIS, DRS, ITM, and SAR. I will pick my own specialization, software architecture, as an example, but the others are structured exactly the same way. So you will find a number of typical profiles, typical professional profiles when you study that master program. For instance, a solution architect, that is a kind of the bread and butter architect who is basically able to cover a wide range of technologies and also contributes to development. This role exists in 2 versions, in the 3-semester version and the 4-semester version. Let's go to the 4-semester version. And there you see an example curriculum. That's just a proposal that we have kind of compiled because we would consider this a useful mix for that specific role. You are completely free to change that. And if you want to do that, then you can just start from here, pick kind of the role that comes closest to your own ideas, and then go to this link here, customize these examples to fit your own needs. So if you click here, then it kind of takes you over to the study planner, and there you see you have this profile already pre-selected in the study planner, and then you can start exchanging topics. So for instance, if you think that domain-driven design is probably not for you, then you unselect it, and instead you say, for instance, advanced machine learning. So, and as you see, it still works because you have 34 credits in software architecture, so you can phase out a module that has a lot of contributions to architecting and coding software, and take a module that has more focus or puts more focus on data analytics and so forth. So that's basically, in my opinion, a pretty kind of strong possibility or strong tool to start from something that is close to your heart and then kind of configure it. And once you're done, I would recommend to print this. You can print it as a PDF. And then if you have any questions, you can send that PDF to the supervisor that is responsible for your specialization area. If you have questions, book a meeting and discuss if you have any specific questions. So that is something that we offer. Okay, I think that is as far as I wanted to go here in that brief information session. Any questions at this point? Okay, maybe later, then over to you, Hartmut.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, then I'll share my screen again. And I would like to, you see my screen? Yes. Huh? Okay. I like a clip that you explain.
Yes, of course, I can do so. Okay, yes, as you have seen before, there are some pre-configured profiles for each of the specializations. And here is one typical profile for the specialization of the data and information science specialization. So in this area, we are not focusing that much on core computer science topics, but more in the area of information science and data science topics. So as you have heard before, one of the core topics of this specialization is this generating and accessing knowledge field. So as you can see, some courses that are in this profile here for the web data scientist are courses like knowledge discovery, advanced statistics, data visualization, data science and ethics, web technologies, and so on. Yeah? So these are all fields that have a very high amount of credits in the field of generating and accessing knowledge. And this is just a typical profile for a 3-semester study profile. Of course, it's as the rest of the profiles, totally open to extending this profile with courses from the computer science area. So for example, we've mixed here, or some of you may be former colleagues, future colleagues, mix here something like advanced database technologies in there, or take some courses on software design and architecture and such. So nevertheless, so these web data science profiles or information science profiles are listed on the website. And yeah, as you will see, there are some modules that are more or less the same in each of these profiles. So namely statistics, data visualization, and all these data science related modules. But then in the second or maybe third semester, some variation comes in here. Of course, as all the other specializations, we can offer a start in the summer and in the winter semester. As you can see here in this example, this is an example where we start in the summer semester, but it can be easily switched and altered to starting in the winter. In contrast to the other specializations, this is more or less the most flexible specialization, which means we don't have any mandatory modules. So you are absolutely free to choose whatever combination of modules you like. There are no constraints regarding the participation in different projects or in different seminars. So you're very free to choose your own path through these master's courses. In total, we offer 48 modules that are fitting in this specialization field. So therefore, I think if you're interested in this area of studying, there are many different ways and many different paths that might enable your very most personal interest field. Okay, that's more or less the few words I would say to this specialization. Hartmut, I get you right, yeah? So we are open for questions after the main part.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Philip.
So
Yeah, thank you for mentioning. I've forgotten to say that we have take-ins in summer and winter term. And to add one remark to what you have said, Philip, you said no restrictions. Yes, no mandatories. Yes, but for sure we have the profile achievements. That nevertheless that these are well valid. That means, for example, that you have to achieve a specific number of credits in specific focus areas. That nevertheless is still valid here.
I'm totally with you. So in the very first row of this table, you can see here, these are the minimal number of credits that you have to achieve. So 5 credits here in the acting responsibility column, the software architecture column, and the main part here, 30 credits in the generating accessing knowledge. So you're totally right, of course. There are some restrictions, but not on top of the usual restrictions that apply to all the different specializations.
Yeah, exactly. Only to avoid misunderstandings. Okay, then Stefan, again, your specialization.
Do you have?
I have 2 slides for you.
Yeah, 1 slide. Okay. Yeah, basically, this is, as I already took that as an example, solution architect is basically the bread and butter role of the coding world. If you want to deal with architecture, a solution architect is usually in a company responsible for supervising development teams or consulting development teams in terms of technical or system architecture. That person may have additional specializations like more infrastructure oriented or more coding oriented and so forth. And so the example curriculum that we have compiled here contains a number of kind of very coding oriented modules like domain-driven design of large software systems, which help you to design really large systems that are decoupled enough to be independently developable. Then coding excellence, which is something where you learn about coding patterns and coding best practices. Ubiquitous computing is about setting up architectures that are highly distributed and contain IoT elements. Operations research is an optimization module, and scientific computing deals with using computational algorithms to solve scientific problems. And yeah, so forth. So second semester would be requirements engineering, web technologies, modern database systems. that should all be self-explanatory. Then there's a German course like Virtualisierung und Dienstarchitekturen. That means virtualization and service architectures, business process management, again, pretty self-explanatory. And in the third semester, we have 2 guided projects and then the master thesis. It's very, very straightforward. You can exchange some of these, or you can do everything as long as you are complying with rules, but you could still be compliant with the at least 20 credits on the coding, architect and coding software rule, and still exchange some of these modules for other kind of specialization. So like in the example that I showed you a couple of minutes ago, if you're quite interested, for instance, in, let's say, data science, and we have a wide range of possible and interesting modules to pick from. And if you want to mix in this a little bit more, if you want to mix in a little bit more about social impact of software systems, we have a wide range of modules and so forth. So that is highly customizable. I hope that covers it.
Yeah, thank you, Stefan. Then I would like to ask Hans-Ludwig Stahl to introduce himself and also the specialization he is managing. Okay.
Thank you very much. I couldn't unmute myself. Thank you for the introduction, and first have to excuse for being a bit late. I had another Zoom meeting before, and I didn't manage to drop in time, but I think it is not so it's not so bad. Thank you for giving me the chance to introduce myself with a few words. My name is Hans-Ludwig Stahl, and I'm the responsible for the focus area IT management, which is also part of this master program. And I'm primarily active in the area of communication, networks, and practical computer science. And one of the modules in this master's program is offered by me. I can point it out later. So what is special for the focus area IT management? It's a bit different from the other focus areas in that a larger amount of modules is offered in German language. So it's mandatory that you are able to understand German and to speak German to take part in these modules. And another difference is there is a number of modules that are mandatory. So you have not the freedom of the amount which was pointed out, for example, for the focus area DIS, Data Information Systems. But you still have freedom to choose, so it's not completely predefined. For example, modules you see on the slide, IT strategy or innovation management, IT consulting, Netzarchitektur, Design und Infrastrukturen, or Sicherheit, Privatsphäre und Vertrauen. And I think Virtualisierung und Dienstarchitekturen, these modules are mandatory. So the requirement is still to meet the minimum ECTS points for the different focus areas, for the 6 focus areas which were introduced in the beginning. And in addition, there are some modules which have to be passed successfully to get the grade at the end. But you can choose between especially a lot of projects. We have 3 different types of projects here. Smaller projects which are credited with with 6 credit points. medium projects with 9 credit points, and bigger projects or complex projects which are accredited with 12 points. But these projects can also be replaced by projects offered in the other specialization areas. So if you, for example, pass a project in the specialization area business information systems, this may replace an appropriate project which is listed here in this module catalog. The only restriction here is given by the ECTS points belonging to each focus area. So you have to take care that at the end you meet the minimum requirements for the ECS for the focus areas. Okay, that's, I think, what is special to this specialization area. And if there are any questions, we can talk about them later on. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Hans Ludwig. Then come back to business information systems, the specializations that I'm guiding. And I've already used that as example in my explanation. So maybe we can go quickly through these elements. So again, this is a profile of requirements, of achievements here. You remember, empowering business is the strongest focus area with the highest requirements with 22. So to an overview, mandatory modules, none. We don't have any mandatory modules in our specialization. There's one exception, but it's not really a mandatory specific module. It is a project, and the projects are all, of course, offered each semester, different titles varying from semester to semester. And here that is mandatory, that you take one project. And this project is accompanied by team supervision. That is what we make mandatory in our project. And we think that is a very valuable kind of element for your professional career. And that is the reason why we have taken it mandatory. But what is the subject of the project, in which area you focus in this project, that is out of scope here in this rule. Yeah, constraint the maximum of 30 credits when we talk about a 120 program. That means for semester, maximum of 30 credits and projects. Yeah, and then overall we have almost 90 classical modules plus project modules, and of course master thesis. Here one example of, I would not say it's a typical, because we have hundreds of typical passes. As Stefan already mentioned, we have personas deployed in our digital sciences internet site, where you can see like 6 or 7 or 8 different personas, so recommended study passes. Here is only one example. You see here typical modules for our specialization. You see the reason is why I call them, when you look here in this column, EB for empowering business, you see here high values, 5, 4, 4. That means these are modules with a focus, with a high focus on empowering business. For example, like Management und Unternehmenssteuerung, Business Process Management, IT Consulting, Management Simulation Game, Current Approaches to Marketing and Innovation, and more. And when you would choose these modules here, as we suggest, you would achieve more than 40 credits in this focus area, empowering business. And you see that you also over-fulfill this threshold of 6 credits in acting responsibly, where it is here, AR, acting responsibly with 10, or here you see in generating assessing knowledge is overfulfilled with 12. Overfulfilled is only the thing you are gathering more in your account here than is prescribed as minimum, as threshold value in our conditions. Okay, so far. Then let's talk about the application and the admission procedures. Again, we come back to our focus area, and also these focus areas are guiding us here in the selection and admission process in our program. And now we address our focus areas on the bachelor credits. For example, again, we talk about business information system. If you apply for business information system, we will take a look in what you have passed in your undergraduate study in these 6 focus area. What we are expecting is that you have 5 credits in the field of acting responsibly, or 10 in architecting and implementing software. And the highest value, the highest requirement is 25 credits in empowering business, and so on. That means we expect that you have achieved in your undergraduate study a specific level of knowledge about empowering business. That can be a module like business administration, accounting, the production, logistics, but also ERP systems or other. So everything where the focus on the module is in this field will be counted here as contributing to this focus area. And the reason is that we trying to assure that you will be successful in our study program. And to join the specialization, to achieve here's a master degree in this specialization, we are addressing this minimal requirement. And the same is, we have a specific profile of requirements for all of these 4 different specializations. You see here for data information system specialization, there is a highest requirement in the field of generating and accessing knowledge. For IT management, there's the highest requirement in the focus area managing and running IT. And for software architecture, the highest requirement is architecting and implementing software. I think, yeah, on the first glance, it makes sense. And I think, and I'm convinced in the second too. Yeah, okay. The selection procedure in more details. We have a couple of different steps. The first step is what you need. A hard restriction is a grade in your undergrad studies, a GPA 2.5 or better. And furthermore, there is a requirement that you have passed 80 credits, at least 80 credits in the field of computer science, information science, or data science. All these are counted together. 80 credits in total in these fields. Then relate, and that is a condition that is independent of the specialization. The next condition that is specific for the specialization. For example, what I just go back, this is the second step that we look that you achieved in your undergraduate, this specific profile to which you apply. When you do not really completely fulfill this requirement, nevertheless, you can stay in the application process, but there will be a score. The score in the first row is based on the GPA, the bachelor grade, the final grade, and 50% by how your achievements from the profiling are fitting with the requirements that I just mentioned. And then based on this, we have a first score, deciding in which area we are looking in more details, where the applications have a high probability finally to be successful in the admission process. But the final score, and that is really the important final score, is based on 50% of the GPA, 25% of in which degree you are fitting the requirements, and 25% based on an interview or a video that you are uploading. And these are the requirements for the fitting, what I mentioned here. And what we allow is that 15 credits in total are missing. For example, let's go back to business information systems. So we're expecting 25 credits in the field of empowering business. When you have achieved in your undergraduate studies less than 10, then your application process will be stopped here. If you have achieved more than 10 or more, but less than 25, then you have a worse grade score value here in this part of 25% fitting. But nevertheless, you are in the ranking. And when you have achieved 25% for empowering business and also fulfill all the other thresholds, then you achieve the maximum value for fitting our profiling values for the entry. I hope it is comprehensible. Otherwise, I would like to explain it later in our breakout sessions. So that means on overview, we have hard criteria, 80 credits from bachelor in relevant subjects, computer science, data science, information science. Then we are looking in the profile that you achieved in your undergraduate, how strong this profile is fitting the requirements for the entry level in the specific specialization. And then finally, we are using the motivational video that you have uploaded, and all these elements are contributing together and generate a final score. And this score is used for a ranking. And then finally, we assign our places that we are able to give applicants based on this ranking, based on this final score. Application deadlines for depend on your specific situation. We have a deadline for outside European. This is a little bit earlier than the deadline for inside European Union. Both international students outside European Union and inside apply via UniAssist. National applicants apply via TH Cologne Bewerbungsportal. And all the details, when are the deadlines, how should I address, or where is the URL, where to apply, you will find here on internet site of TH Cologne. When you're looking for our master program, Digital Sciences, everything is explained here in detail. Okay, then I would like to hand over to the student services. Is there someone here from the student services? Mrs. Krevers? If it's not the case, then I go further to the Department of International Affairs and would like to call Larissa Busch. Now you can share your screen.
So, jetzt müsste man mich hören können.
Yes.
Okay, so you can hear me. So I will share my screen and activate the presentation. I hope you can see it now. So yeah, my name is Larissa Busch. Once again, I work for the Department of International Affairs, and I would like to give you some information now on yeah, what's important to know for international applicants who would like to apply for the Master Digital Sciences. But I also have some information for those of you who are German students, but maybe you also would like to have some international experience and would like to do a semester abroad during your master studies. So yeah, I'll just explain a little bit and present our services for you as students. So here you see a little overview of what we do and who we are. As the name already implies, we take care of everything international at TH Köln, at the University of Applied Sciences Cologne. And for example, we advise and support international students or international applicants who would like to study here. We also give advice on study abroad programs. So if you would like to have an experience abroad during your studies, and just in general, we also take care of international partnerships of the university. So first, I'd like to explain a little bit about our service for international students. This starts already before you start your studies at TH Köln. So if you are interested in the master program Digital Sciences, but you have international documents, so your educational history is from another country, maybe you don't know if you can be admitted to the German university system, then we are the ones that you can contact, and we can give you information on what you need to fulfill in order to get admission to the German university system. And also more specifically, Professor Westenberger said it before, international students or international applicants have to apply via UniAssist. So we can also explain more in detail how you apply via this UniAssist platform. Then later on, once you have done the application, it was successful, and you would like to start your studies at TH Köln, maybe you're even in Cologne already, we are still your contact persons, so we can also support you with questions about the right of residence, about financing your studies, or just in general life in Cologne and Germany. And moreover, we also have different options and events in order to give you orientation at the university. What I always like to recommend is to look at our website to get information for a first overview for your first steps at TH Köln. So in that case, go to incomings and then degree seeking students. There, as you can see in the screenshot, you find a lot of information on the visa process, on accommodation, health insurance, how to finance your studies, maybe a scholarship, but also other advisory services, or just how to spend your leisure time in Cologne and Germany. And of course, we also have consultation hours where you can ask us directly your individual questions. Right now, we only offer a limited amount of face-to-face office hours still due to the COVID-19 situation. But one very good option to ask individual questions is our open Zoom consultation hour. It's always on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 12 German time. You can just go there. You will find the access data on the website, and you don't have to register, just bring some time because you might have to wait a few minutes depending on how many people are in the waiting room. But yeah, so there you can go without a registration, and we can give you information and answers to your individual questions. And now about the other topic that we also deal with, namely going abroad. So even if you're not an international student, if you're a German student, maybe even live in Cologne or Gummersbach, and you would like to study the master program Digital Sciences, which is like it was said before, has many English-speaking courses and specialties, and therefore is quite international. If you would also like to have some more international experience and go abroad during the master studies, that is also a very good option. You can do that if you're a German student, but also if you're an international student, of course, then you can also do a semester abroad. And there are different possibilities. You can see some of them here on the screen, on the slide. You can do a study semester abroad. You can also do an internship. Or if you prefer a shorter stay abroad, then, for example, what comes in mind is an excursion or a language course, a summer school, or you can even do your final thesis abroad. So if you're interested in that, you can, of course, also contact us. Then once again, a look at the website. So if you would like some more information, I always recommend that you go to this website. So go to International Outgoings. There you will also find some tips and hints on how you can prepare for a stay abroad. And also for this topic of going abroad, we have another consultation hour. It's always on Tuesdays from 10 to 12 and on Thursdays from 2 to 4 p.m. So just go to the Outgoings website. There you will find the access data to the Zoom. And also here, like I said before, you don't need to register beforehand. You can just come spontaneously and ask your questions. Or if you prefer another way of contacting us, you can, of course, also write us an email. You can call us, or we even offer on-site appointments in a limited version. So please contact us beforehand via email if you are already in Gummersbach or Cologne and you would like to see us face-to-face. That's also possible, but then please contact us via email first and make an appointment. And you can also follow us on social media. There we always publish the most recent information. So we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So that's a really good possibility to just follow us and be up to date with all information. Yeah, that's it already from my side. Just a very quick overview of our services. We would be happy to hear from you and of course to welcome you as international students or as just normal regular students in the master program Digital Sciences. And if you have questions about the application process, which is open right now, you can of course contact us or just write us an email. So I will stop my screen sharing and then I'll hand back to Professor Westenberger.
Yeah, thank you very much, Larissa Busch. I'll try to share my screen again. Okay, then I will stop recording. That means that we go into a discussion.